Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hang out with this nerd.
Nathan Nerdark.
And today we delve back into our legendary monsters of Dungeons and Dragons series. This time we're talking about the Demon Lord Graz'zt. Jump down the description below, we can find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, giving weekly tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Alright, so today we're diving into the Out of the Abyss
adventure, yes. But we're only going to look at a little piece of it. On page 240, you can find Graz'zt.
Yes, a nice, beautiful slice of the abyss.
Not sure exactly that's how you pronounce it, but he is one of the demon lords, and he has been around for a very long time. And unlike many of the archdevils and demon lords that have been used throughout the editions of D&D, this one was purely created whole cloth from the mind of Gygax.
Yes, and that's how it appears in every edition, from being his own brainchild.
Yeah, and that's it. Graz'zt has appeared in every single edition of D&D. He first got his start, I believe it was in 1982, and one of the adventures that were written by Gary Gygax. Graz'zt is like the ultimate schemer demon lord. While like many of his brethren, he takes part in the blood war with the devils. You know, it's not really his happy place. It's not his comfort zone. He's much better at, pulling the strings behind the scenes, betraying, allying with, and directing the machinations of his other demon brethren.
Yeah, and his wheelhouse is mostly pleasure, persuasion, and power, I think, is what could sum him up.
With a smidgen of pain.
Yes, with a smidgen of pain.
So one of the things right off the bat is he is like the sexiest of demon lords.
Yes.
With a charisma score of 26. And that's what they talk about, kind of like his unearthly, unworldly beauty and allure.
Yeah.
But there's always that threat of danger.
Yeah, there's like a cruel twist or demeanor to the beauty. So he's stunningly beautiful. What is it, like obsidian skin?
Yeah. I mean, he's depicted with a picture as being purplish, and there'll always be a picture around here somewhere as we'll throw up there. But yeah, like, he's a large fiend, chaotic evil, as you would expect. His stats are staggering: strength 22, dex 15, con 21, intelligence 23, wisdom 21, charisma 26. So his weak spot is that 26 dex. And he's depicted as being this like beautiful 9-foot tall human, basically, that has, extra toes and extra fingers because he's got 6 of each.
Yeah, he's like beautiful, but a little bit of an abnormality.
Yeah.
He's got horns coming off his head that can be seen kind of sticking through the hair.
So he is going to be a challenge 24. So you're not going to be using him for quite a while in your games.
Unless you're into TPKing.
There is that as well.
And one of the things is, if you're into TPKing, one of the things that Graz'zt goes on about is he's really into, like, there are no rules, like super hedonism, levels of hedonism, super into debauchery and just whatever. If it feels good, do it, man.
Right, and then using that to blackmail you.
Yeah.
After he said it was okay.
Yeah.
So in and of himself, obviously, Challenge 24, he's a powerful combatant. I mean, he's a shape changer. He's got a bunch of spell-like abilities that he can tap into.
Lots of charm power.
Magic resistance, legendary resistance. His weapon is, considered magical attacks, which...
Go ahead.
His weapon is a great sword named Wave of Sorrow, and it's a curved blade that, on command, weeps acid.
Yeah, now, when I first heard of this, I was like, oh man, I'm going to look this up in the magic items. I was like, no, it's his, like, personal weapon that he's got going on.
Yeah, there is no other like it. If you want it, you have to take it from him. So, he's got legendary actions, dance my puppet, or attack, stow discord, teleport. So he's very mobile. He's got the ability to use counter spell as one of his as a power that he uses 3 times a day. So he's able to bounce around the battlefield, stab people, and shut down the spellcasters at the same time.
And a unique thing to him that I thought was very interesting was one of the powers he has is the ability to command everybody he's aware of in the area.
Oh yeah, so he gets as a lair action, he can use the command spell. And if he's aware of you, everyone, I mean, he has to be the same command, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, the command, you give the command, if everyone fails their saving throw and your command's like grovel, right?
Yeah.
That totally shuts everyone down for the round. They're prone, so now they got to spend half their movement in action to get up.
And normally that stuff's line of sight, but he can just be like, oh, I know these people are here. Everybody, down on your knees.
Yeah, so and it really just kind of feeds into like this egotistical demon and his power. But aside from the fact that he's super powerful himself, let's talk about how we could use Graz'zt in a game. And he's got some unique aspects, I believe, that are going to lend to using Graz'zt very early on in your game, and for maybe different kinds of campaigns than you might normally run with some of the other demon lords.
Well, one of the things I was thinking of was you start off small with maybe a thieves guild or something like that, blackmailing people. And you find out later, like more and more, that it's not just the thieves guild. The thieves guild has the information and they're selling it and threatening people with it, but they're not the ones garnering the information or influencing it. There's always this other key person or people that are kind of the cult of Graz'zt. And you don't even learn about him until way down the line, but it's this whole kind of machination setup of just the destruction and owning and controlling of this city state.
So one of the things is like literally a good model would actually be like Littlefinger's from Game of Thrones. Like to one of your masterminds or one of your cult leaders, like that kind of guy would be perfect. And you kind of touched on one of the points that I wanted to make was this is a perfect demon lord for an urban campaign setting.
Oh yeah.
Thieves guilds. Well, where are the thieves guild getting the information? Probably from pleasure houses, whorehouses, places of ill repute. Where people are they're into the libations, they're doing things, and it's going to be easier to get information about them, or even just the fact that they're there becomes part of the information. So I could definitely see this thieves guild working more so with those kind of places in order to get the information. Gambling houses,
Oh yeah.
all these places, and this is all stuff that can happen for a long time. Like you're in this type of campaign setting, you may not even encounter monsters for a long time. You might your monsters might be humans, elves, dwarves, and halflings.
Yeah, thugs, seedy criminals, different elements like that. Just situations where you can't use your weapons and you got to talk your way out of it or be in jail.
Like I almost feel like the first time you might even get a hint that Graz'zt is behind things is like you might come upon like a Cambion or something like that,
Yeah.
or tieflings, or something of that nature.
Because of all the things that he's about, he has a plentiful amount of descendants.
Well, that's part of his thing is like he's been mocked as being like the devils and like trying to create his own versions of hell, his own layers of hell, because he's got so many machinations going on at the same time. And it's been pointed out too that that's an insult that rarely gets said in his presence, and if it does, that person doesn't say it again.
Yeah, there's going to be some wave of sorrows action happening.
Not even like all of his minions are gonna do you in, and he's also kind of known for creating like these demonic bloodlines and creating other races essentially to do his bidding.
Yeah, I reading he's credited with reviving a race that was killed off that's like into deicide, which they're interested in like overthrowing the gods. Like the entire race is interested in that. This is some kind of like lore you look outside of. I don't think, is it in that book?
No, it's not.
But it's really interesting things, and it seems like he might have had, because he's so prolific, he also has this like tiefling descendants that have like sat on like thrones, like king thrones.
Right. One of the most recent UAs goes into cults and for the devils and the demons and stuff like that. And most, even in that, like it says most demons lords aren't likely to have cults. Well, this guy is one of the ones that would definitely want cults. He wants people worshiping him.
Yeah, he wants party cults too.
Yeah, he wants people adoring him, the adoration. He wants all that. And the other thing is like he will only employ certain people around him. He's just going to want the best, the prettiest, the most handsome. This guy is definitely not for affirmative action.
Yeah, he wants the prettiest. He wants the beautiful.
Right. Yeah. If you don't If you don't meet his standard, there's no way that he's gonna allow you in his presence. Which means he's probably just going to kill you.
Or give you to one of his minions to play around with who has some kind of interest.
I guess there is that as well. So, all in all, Graz'zt is a perfect arch villain for a campaign. You can start really, really early, really slow with his machinations, and slowly but surely the players can uncover the greater power behind these schemes that are going on.
Yeah, layers and layers they're going to have to sift through and cut away before they're going to get to an inkling that he is behind this.
So what do you guys think? Would you use Graz'zt in your campaign? Have you used them before? We got a place for that. It's called the comments. While you're down there, like, share, and subscribe.
You can patronize us in a good way over on Patreon.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.